A grand jury has now indicted Corey Foster on a charge of manslaughter in the death of Denison teacher Katie Palmer. Katie and her husband John were out for a morning walk in April of 2020 when they were hit by a truck. John was severely injured. Katie was killed. A grand jury in 2020 decided not to bring charges against Foster. However, new District Attorney John Kermit Hill made a campaign promise to revisit this case when he took office. The husband of Katie Palmer says he has not and will not stop fighting for justice.
When you love somebody, stopping is never an option, and we didn't stop. And we'll always love you, Katie Palmer, and we'll keep fighting for you from now until forever.
Over the past 5 years, Palmer's family has given countless hours to the Justice for Katie movement. Their work changed state law. KXII 12's Austin Hedgecock joins us in the studio tonight, taking us from April of 2020 to the present. Austin?
Jeff, let's start at the very beginning. On a dewy morning, on a dewy spring morning in April of 2020, when husband and wife John and Katie Palmer set out for a stroll from which only John would make it home. The Denison couple was hit from behind by a truck driven by their neighbor, Corey Foster. The impact broke John's ribs and killed Katie.
Hey John, is that your wife? What's her name?
Reviewing the body cam footage from that day, you can hear officers talking about the strong smell of alcohol on Foster's breath.
I'm smelling it pretty strong coming from your breath.
He did take a field sobriety test, and 50 minutes after the accident, he blew a .06 blood alcohol level, which is below the legal limit. His blood was never drawn, and the breathalyzer test can't be used in court. Foster blamed the crash on the morning sun.
I just couldn't see because the glare was so bad.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have driven.
In the months that followed, a Grayson County grand jury declined to indict Foster on charges of manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide, at the same time as John Palmer filed a wrongful death suit in civil court. For the next year, Katie's family and the community pushed for changes in the law. At the time of her death, officers could use their own judgment when deciding whether to test a driver's blood alcohol level. But after a big push from the Justice for Katie movement, HB 558 was signed into law in June of 2021. Now, officers at the scene of a crash that seriously injures or kills a pedestrian must draw blood from the driver. That blood will then be screened for drugs or alcohol. And just months after the law changed, new body cam video was released that John Palmer argues should have been used as evidence.
But right when I come up and I saw it was him, I was like, yeah, he's probably drunk.
He said the same thing. He said that, that dude's always drunk.
Fast forward to 2024, District Attorney Brett Smith, who was in charge at the time of Katie's death, announced a bid for re-election. Members of his team then resigned, citing frustration with Smith's labeling of the case a dead horse.
That dead horse issue is in fact a dead woman, and her name is Katie Palmer.
In that election, John Kermit Hill would go on to beat Smith and become the new district attorney, running on a platform promising to revisit the case. Now, as the DA, Hill indeed brought the case back and secured a grand jury indictment on one count of manslaughter. Hill adds that an indictment should not be considered evidence of guilt and that all charged with the crime are presumed innocent until proven guilty. We'll continue to follow this case as it moves through the court. Jeff?
In case, thank you.